The Arab world is a loose yet complex amalgamation of 22 countries in which a pan-Arab identity is the proclaimed ideal. Its citizens share a common language, a common history, and believe that they share a common destiny. But in its search for unity, Arab society has been pulled in opposite directions: past versus present, sacred versus secular, monarchy versus democracy. The end of the First World War left the Arabs feeling betrayed. Their dream of a new Arab kingdom had not materialized. Instead, Britain and France divided the region between them. As the promises of the past receded and their sense of fragmentation increased, Arabs began to turn to new political ideologies, charting a new path for the Arab nation in the hope of addressing the gap between the reality and dream of unity. During the First World War, having witnessed the suffering of his people, Lebanese nationalist thinker Antoun Saadeh wondered what it was that drove Arabs from one adversity into another, constantly delivering them from a lesser evil and making them victim to a greater one.
Antoun Saadeh felt that the Arab movement and also the religious movements that were prevalent during his time were not able to defend the land against their enemies. That's the major problem that he was facing. And he is going to explain that.
The defeat of the Ottoman Empire and the abolition of the Islamic Caliphate by the newly secular Turkish state forced the Arabs to reconsider their personal and political identities. The 1920s and 30s saw the rise of a multitude of secular ideologies like communism and socialism, and it was at this time that the importance of the idea of a secular Arab nationalism began to emerge. Syrian intellectuals like Salah Bitar and Michel Aflaq and Lebanese Antoun Saadeh were at the forefront of competing movements, all trying to find answers to the questions of identity, loyalty, self-determination, and liberation. To deal with these difficulties, three major nationalist movements developed. The first, Pan-Arabism, dismissed existing sovereign states as artificial colonial creations. The second, known as local nationalism, insisted on preserving the independence and sovereignty of Arab countries. And in between these two, some nationalist thinkers were seeking only regional unity, such as Greater Syria or the North African Union, either permanently or as a step toward a larger Arab unity. In 1919, Egyptian politician Saad Zaghlul's famous cry, "Egypt for the Egyptians," in the face of British colonialism, started the ball rolling for regional nationalism. Zaghlul believed that Egypt and the Nile Valley, including the Sudan, were one entity.
At that time, the emphasis was put on two issues. First, Egyptian nationalism as a confrontation to British colonialism. Second, the only identity that could go beyond an Egyptian identity was an Islamic one. So Arabism, as an idea, was not at all clear. Saad Zaghlul had strong reservations about Arabism. And when asked about Arab unity, he said, "Nothing equals nothing."
Like Saad Zaghlul, Lebanese Antoun Saadeh also believed in regional nationalism, as opposed to a wider pan-Arab identity. He established the Syrian Socialist Nationalist Party in 1932, with the aim of uniting the inhabitants of the Fertile Crescent, or Greater Syria, stretching from Iraq to Palestine.
The main notion is that Syria is a geographic entity separated from the rest of the Arab world, notably the distinction is between the Fertile Crescent, an agricultural area, and the desert.
Anton Saadi, because of our area. He looked at Greater Syria, he saw many religions in the area, many sects, many ethnicities. Are he going to say that they are not Syrians? No, he decided all of these are Syrians. The Kurds living in Iraq or Syria are called Syrians by my father. They are not called another ethnic group because they are living on a geographical area.
جبلنا جبلنا بنمنا التراب وجبلنا ومهما الدهر غضبات جبلنا
Saadi also rejected the idea in Arab nationalism that all speakers of the Arabic language formed a single nation. He argued instead that a shared history and culture dating back several millennia made the inhabitants of Greater Syria a naturally unified bloc, no matter what they spoke or what their religion was.
Anybody living on that area is going to be considered a citizen, regardless of what religion or what is his ethnic group, because when you live on the same area, you are going to have the same fate. If a catastrophe happens, everybody is going to be affected in that area. So your fate is connected to that area.
As far as Saadi was concerned, the occupation of Palestine was exactly the kind of catastrophe he was thinking about.
When the Zionists came and entered Palestine, he kept asking Syria, in the sense of Greater Syria, geographic Syria, to defend one of its parts, because Palestine to him was the southern part of Syria. So he wanted Syria, the rest of the area, to defend Palestine. And he said, and he was correct in his analysis and vision, he said that the issue of Zionism is not only going to affect Palestine, but is going to affect every part of Greater Syria. And this turned out to be true as we see it nowadays.
Saadi traveled around the Levant, promoting his ideas that the arbitrary partition of the Fertile Crescent did not make for successful countries, as their new borders reflected colonial jostling for strategic positions or oil. This did not go down well with Lebanese authorities, who put Saadi on trial for treason and executed him. Saadi's ideas of regional unity died with him. But around the same time, a group of Syrian intellectuals were proposing that in fact, all differences among Arabs were accidental and unimportant, and will all disappear with the awakening of Arab consciousness. Like Anton Saadi, Ba'ath Party founders Michel Aflaq and Salah Bitar wanted to get rid of foreign domination. But unlike Saadi, they insisted that moral and cultural deterioration had weakened the Arab spirit. They wanted to regenerate the common Arabic heritage of the people. The Ba'ath Party was established in Syria, promoting the idea of the common destiny of all Arabs as a prime motive for Arab unity, with the slogan, "One Arab nation with an eternal mission," emphasizing freedom, unity and socialism. Baathism was aimed squarely at the Arab masses. Jordanian Abu Abdallah, a farmer in Karak, is one of millions of Arabs who felt that the Ba'ath Party promoted and encouraged their interests.
I joined the Ba'ath Party in 1953. First, it is a revolutionary party. Second, all of us demanded Arab unity. United, we are stronger.
أنا كرجل عامل
As a labourer, it's important for me to be a member of a party that looks after my rights.
إلي حقوق كعامل في هالعالم العربي لأنه مبادئ حزب البعث.
The very principles of the Ba'ath Party deal with the essence of our miserable condition.
الوحدة ما بتصير بدون كفاح شعب.
Unity cannot be achieved without the struggle of the people. We have no liberty. We were shackled.
يعني مكبلين. اشتراكية إنك أنت تكون لك بيت.
Socialism provides the individual with basic needs. An organization was necessary to take care of our rights and guide our path. Given that all of this was missing, the Ba'ath Party played this role.
لذلك حزب البعث كان هذا دوره.